What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? All right, I am back in my hotel room from Red Rock Canyon, and the sun is setting. It's actually almost down, which is strange because it does not set this early on in my city. But I'm gonna walk over a block to Fat Tuesday and grab a slushy drink. Let's go. All right, so I'm here. I'm going to chat with you some things I noticed while in Vegas during the pandemic. I've been to Vegas several times before the pandemic, and so there's some differences you need to know. So in the prior clip, you saw I was actually walking along East Tropicana Avenue. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express on East Tropicana Avenue because it was right at the airport. I mean, the runway was right behind the hotel, so it was easy for me to get to and from the airport. You see me walking along East Tropicana, you can see a lot of traffic coming up the street, driving past MGM. So there are 4 different things you need to be aware of that are completely different if Vegas was fully functioning. So the first thing, the amount of people. So going to Vegas previously, it was at a lot of different times of the year very crowded, and that's just not happening right now. So it does make it really nice because you're able to walk the strip not as packed and you can navigate easier. And it's definitely really nice if you go earlier in the day, that strip is quiet. But as the night goes on, the day gets later, even when it was packed, you obviously get more and more people that come out, right? Well, it's not enough. So it's kind of like this weird vibe because I'm like walking down the strip and I'm like, it's 6, 7 in the evening. And it just doesn't feel right because for me, I'm used to seeing all these people, you know, just having a good time, usually drunk people, but no judgment zone here. You're living at your best life. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? So I didn't see that many people there. So that didn't make me feel that comfortable walking the strip later in the evening. I was in Vegas a year prior, same month, last year, 2019. Walk the strip at night. I felt so comfortable because there was just so many people there to, like, if you have any issues or questions, you can go to them. Not this time around. I also saw as I walked along the strip trying to get to Fat Tuesday, like, someone got into a fight. Like, I have never seen a fight situation. I know it happens. It happens anywhere where your people are partying, right? But I saw like blood and stuff on the strip. I said, what? And what is this? What happened to the fun times? Get drunk, be merry, not this. So it was definitely a different vibe than usual. Actually, right before I went, my aunt sent me an article about things that were happening in Vegas right now during the pandemic. So you definitely can look it up online. I'll post the article she sent me down below. But obviously things are changing and, you know, it may not be relevant in a few weeks or not. So just keep that in mind as you go to Vegas during the pandemic. So the second thing is that not everything is open. So I was walking the strip and I'm like, oh, that place isn't open. Like, I just went there last year. I looked up before I left the hotel if Fat Tuesday was open. So there's multiple Fat Tuesdays. So while I was walking the strip, I passed one Fat Tuesday that's outside and they had like a little party going on. I was like, I'm definitely not staying here. Too many people in this one little area. COVID exists. No, not staying here. And there was a long line. I was gonna be there a long time. And I was like, okay, so that wasn't the one I was going to. That's not the one I Googled to see if it was open. So I walked down to the next Fat Tuesday and I walked past it because it was closed. I didn't even realize it. And I was like, oh, I passed it already. Yeah, it was closed. Even though online on Google, it said it was open. So from this note, make sure if you're in Vegas or anywhere during this COVID times, this pandemic times, make sure you call ahead to make sure they're actually open or that their hours are actually correct online because people have not been updating them on Google and I had to learn that the hard way. I guess I got some steps in and got to see the strip a little bit, but I didn't get my slushie from Fat Tuesday, which is very disappointing. Also, Planet Hollywood, the casino and hotel was not open when I went. It has reopened since I went, but it was closed. So So there's a lot of different things that are closed or slowly reopening. So it's very important that you call and make sure that place is open before you head there. So here is another clip that I'm going to show you as I was walking the strip. So you can see me walking down the strip and see how many people are actually out, which is different than before, at least in my experience. The third thing I want to point out is that a lot of people tend to go to Vegas for the shows. There's no shows right now in Vegas. So they're gonna bring back some shows starting November 6th. Some of the shows are David Copperfield, Jabberwockies, Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, Thunder Down Under, and a few others. And some of the requirements will be that the stage will have to be 25 feet away from the beginning of the audience, and there will be a maximum capacity of 250 people per event, and everyone will have to be 6 feet apart. That will be entertaining because in my experience, people cannot stay 6 feet. So if you're expecting to go to Vegas and see some shows, definitely research in advance to see if your show is playing or when it will come back, if it will. Definitely important to do so. So here is one last clip I'm going to show you from the strip that I want to share with you so you can get some of your Vegas vibes if you're not going anytime soon. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is the airport in Vegas. I left on a Monday morning from Vegas to head back to Atlanta, and that's definitely not the time to fly. That's people probably go to Vegas for the weekend and then head back home Monday, whatever. So I get back to the rental car place, and of course, Hertz was fully functioning, and it was not fully functioning when I picked up the car, but it was fully functioning, dropped off the car, went back into the rental car agency to get the shuttle to the airport. I approached the door and I'm like, what is this? Long line. The line moved pretty smoothly, but I was probably in line 20 to 30 minutes just to catch the shuttle back to the airport. So you definitely need to plan ahead in those high volume times if you're renting a car to make sure you have enough time to make all these transitions. So got back to the airport and I walk in and I'm like, I see Spirit Airlines, it's chaotic. I see another airline, I'm like, the line's crazy. And I'm like, please don't let Southwest Airlines be like this. And it was crazy. Here's one clip that I have from the airport. That was when I first walked in and saw Spirit Airlines and was like, oh my God. And I was hoping it was only them. So here's that clip. So I get to Southwest and you see this long line protruding from Southwest. And it was actually a line like if you need full assistance at the ticketing counter. And I think some people just didn't read. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I know Southwest has the booths, the computers where you can check in yourself and get your luggage tag. So I went around and I saw that was still there. Got my bag tag because they have free bags at Southwest. The bag drop line was so long. And then I start seeing people not wearing masks properly, which that's the first time I've really ever experienced that in the airport. Obviously I haven't been in the airport that much, but I was like, whoa, you need to wear your mask over your nose and mouth. Or no, you can't just wear your mask over your nose. Like, what is wrong with these people? So I go to breakfast and there's nowhere to sit by my gate. And then they're constantly yelling, saying like, we're gonna only board 10 people at a time because people weren't following directions. It was crazy at that airport, completely crazy. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to point out about traveling to Vegas right now during the pandemic. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about your upcoming trip to Vegas, you can leave them down below. I'll do the best I can to answer it from my point of view, but make sure you're always doing your proper research to make sure you are capable and healthy enough to travel. You know, reach out to your doctor, reach out to the CDC, whatever you may need to reach out to understand what implications there are for travel during the pandemic. And yeah, make sure you research to make sure stuff is open that you want to see in Vegas. So thank you so much again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and a notification bell so you're notified when each week's video comes out. And thank you so much again. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are.